Hello students, today we are dealing with reproduction in flowering plants part 4. In this we will study about pollination by biotic agents. Pollination by biotic or living agents. A majority of flowering plants use animals as pollinating agents. So mostly the flowering plants they use animals for pollination. Example are bees, butterflies, flies, beetles, wasps, ants, moths, birds. These include small birds like hummingbird and sunbird, bats. Among these pollinating agents, bees are the dominant pollinating agents. So mostly pollination is by bees. Some large animals like primates. So primates is an order under mammals. In primates, man is also included. There are lemurs, arboreal rodents. These are the rodents which live on trees. Example is squirrel. Then reptiles like gecko lizard and garden lizard, they pollinate some plants. A majority of insect pollinated flowers have adaptations. They are large because when they are large they will be visible by other organisms. They are colorful to attract others. They are fragrant, means they have a smell, and they are rich in nectar or juice. When flowers are small, many flowers are clustered into inflorescence to make them conspicuous. So when the flowers are small, they group together and make a large bunch so that they are easily visible by other animals. So these are the adaptations for pollination by insects. Here we can see gecko lizard. It is pollinating a flower. Then we can see sunbird. Sunbird is a small bird. We know that hummingbird is the smallest bird. Sunbird is larger, but it also pollinates flowers. Then we can see lemur. It is a mammal and it also pollinates flowers. The pollen grains are sticky. So this is one more adaptation, that the pollen grains are sticky. So they easily stick on the body of agents. Animals are attracted to flower by color or fragrance. So why are animals attracted towards flower? Because of their bright colors and smell. But some flowers which are pollinated by beetles, these flowers secrete a foul odor because beetles and some flies, they are attracted towards bad smell. So flowers act accordingly. They do not produce fragrance, but they produce a foul odor. Animals get floral reward. So when animal reaches a flower, it gets a reward. It may be nectar or pollen. So they feed on nectar and some pollen. Some species of plant provide safe place to lay eggs. So some flowers, they also provide a place to lay eggs. Example is Amorphophallus, which is the tallest flower of world. It is 6 feet in height. And another is yucca plant. In yucca plant, a moth species, it lives inside. So both benefit each other. This relation is called symbiosis. The moth deposit egg in the cavity of ovary, which is called locule, and flower gets pollinated by the moth. So both help each other. The larvae of moth come out of eggs and seeds start developing. So when the larvae of moth are ready, they come out, the seeds also develop. So both develop side by side. Many insects consume pollen and nectar without helping in pollination. They are called pollen or nectar robbers. So there are some insects which come to the flower, they feed on pollen and nectar, but do not take any pollen to other flowers because they feed on all the pollen. So they are called pollen or nectar robbers. Here we can see Amorphophallus, which is the tallest flower, and Yucca and moth species. Outbreeding devices. These are the mechanisms to prevent self-pollination in plants. So outbreeding devices help that the plant do not self-pollinate. The pollen grain should reach another plant so that variation can occur. A majority of flowering plants have bisexual flowers, means both the sexes are in the same flower. So pollen are likely to come in contact with stigma of same flower. So the pollen comes in contact with stigma of same flower. There is more chance. If there is continued self-pollination, it results in reduction of yield or productivity due to the no variation in next generation, because the same genes are being passed. This process is called inbreeding depression. So if continuous self-pollination takes place, it will result in a depression. So the first device is pollen release and stigma receptivity is not synchronized. So when the pollen is released from anther, it is not mature and the stigma becomes mature. So if one of the gametes is not mature, then the process cannot take place. So either pollen is released before stigma becomes receptive, or the stigma does not become receptive and the pollen becomes mature. So both do not mature at the same time. So chances of pollination will be less. Anther and stigma are at different position. So in the same flower, anther and stigma occupy different positions. So the pollen cannot come in contact with stigma. Self-incompatibility. It is a genetic mechanism which prevents self-pollen from fertilizing ovules by inhibiting pollen germination or pollen tube growth on pistil. So it is a genetic mechanism. Even if the self-pollen lands on the same flower or another flower of same plant, it will not be able to produce pollen tube because of some genetic mechanism that it is not helped to germinate. It will only germinate on another plant. Unisexual flowers. In this, both male and female flowers are present on same plant. So different flowers, one is male, one is female, but present on same plant. It prevents autogamy but not getonogamy. Example is castor and maize. In some plants, the male and female flowers are on different plants. So one plant is of male flowers and another is of female flowers. It prevents both autogamy and getonogamy. Example is papaya. So these help in cross-pollination. Pollen-pistil interaction. The events from pollen deposition on stigma. So when the pollen lands on stigma till the pollen tube enter ovule, it is called pollen-pistil interaction. Now when pollination take place, the pollen grain may be of right type or wrong type. So what is right type? Right type of pollen is compatible pollen of same species as stigma. So if there is a neem tree pollen, it must land on the stigma of another neem tree pollen. If it lands on a mango stigma, then it is called wrong type. So the pistil can recognize whether pollen is compatible or not. So the pistil has the ability to recognize whether the pollen is of same species. It is able to recognize with the help of certain chemicals present on the wall of pollen as well as stigma. If pollen is right, the pistil accepts the pollen and promotes events leading to fertilization. If incompatible pollen or wrong type pollen, it is rejected by preventing pollen germination on stigma or pollen tube growth in style. So it is not helped to germinate. Dialogue between pollen and pistil is due to their chemical components. Here we can see the diagrams. C diagram is longitudinal section of a flower showing pollen tube. So the pollen tube comes out and we can see that it reaches the style and then it enters into the ovule. In the D diagram we can see there are two synergids, the plasma membrane, then filiform apparatus, two male gametes, vegetative nucleus, and the male gametes enter through filiform apparatus. Then in the E diagram there are male gametes which are released into the cytoplasm of synergid, and finally one fuses with the egg cell and the another with the polar nucleus. Following compatible pollination. So if there is the right type of pollen, pollen grain germinates on stigma to produce pollen tube through germ pores. Pollen tube is come out from the germ pore. Content of pollen move into pollen tube. So all the material, cytoplasm, nucleus of pollen move into the pollen tube. In plants where pollen is shed at two-celled stage, the generative cell divides and forms two male gametes during growth of pollen tube on stigma. So we remember that in some plants there were two-celled stage and in some there were three-celled stage. The plants in which there was two-celled stage, the pollen has generative cell which divides to form two male gametes. The pollen tube after reaching ovary enters micropyle, then filiform apparatus, any one synergid, and finally it enters the ovule. So this is the pathway of male gametes. The filiform apparatus guides the entry of pollen tube. So what is the function of filiform apparatus? It produces certain sugars which attract or help in the growth of pollen tube. So this is the function of filiform apparatus. Okay children, thanks.